Hey, hey, what's up, people? Peek out here in Singapore, and I have a really special guest today, actually. Obviously, most of the people I meet through social media, but this particular young man happens to be doing a lot in the way of giving back to the community. So I feel really good about sharing his story, and I hope you will be excited to meet him as I introduce Chatura of Project Pursuit Happiness. So I see you anxious, Abby. Thank you so much for joining. So what I wanted to make sure that you all understand is these people that I bring on to these live interviews, I want to showcase the things that they're doing rather than talk about things that we could do. They're doing the actions, helping the communities in whatever the capacity that they can, because it's not always easy. Hey, Chatra, how are you?
How you guys doing?
Good, we're good. So,
Good, good.
real quick, you're based in California, correct?
Correct, correct. Hold on. I think I am
Sure.
having difficulty. Let me get my headphones going. It's
Hi,
crazy. I had
Nitika.
this all worked out and then
Yeah?
boom. As soon as it
It's
started,
all
just
good. Seriously, it's all good because this is how you tell that you're a real life human, and I'm a real life human, and this is not a bot,
we're
none of that
live.
shit. So, stuff
Totally.
happens. It's okay.
Everyone. Cool, beautiful. All right, we're in here. We're live.
Okay, so you're in California. How long have you been in California now?
I've been in California for 29 years. I came here when I was 3 months. And
Very cool.
pretty, yeah,
So this
lived
is
in
home. This is
California
all
my
you've
whole.
ever known.
This is all I ever know. We go back once in a while to Sri Lanka. That's where I'm from,
Yep.
and it's kind of weird because over here I'm kind of like a foreigner, you know what I mean? And then when I go back, I'm also a foreigner because it's just like two different worlds. So in a way, I'm just like a foster kid of the world, just trying to do things, just trying to help everyone. I feel like a global citizen in a way.
But I love that though, because for those of you who don't know, Sri Lanka has been war torn for a very long time. A lot of the people have
Yes.
been displaced into different countries, so all over the world. And I really love the fact that you're trying to give back. The fact that you even go back home and try to fit in no matter where you are, that's a big thing to me. My
Thank you.
family's from
Thank
Sri
you.
Lanka as well.
Oh, amazing. Wow.
My dad was born in Jaffna, lived in Kandy for most of his
Oh my
life,
God.
and
Okay.
we
Wow.
lived all over the world. So yeah, I didn't know that about you when we first reached out, but that was really cool to kind of find out along the way.
That is
Um,
amazing.
So, Project Pursuit of Happiness, do you refer to it as
Yeah.
Project Pro or is it just Project Pursuit of Happiness?
I think I've gotten used to saying like Project POH. It's kind of just
Okay,
been,
very cool.
yeah, for me it just
So
slides off
how
the tongue.
did that come about? Where did that come from?
I was in college. This was like in 2013. Back
Okay.
in college, and initially I had done a project for my sister's organization called the Sri Lankan Youth Organization. And
Okay,
so
yeah.
the whole mission was to collect money and go build a library over there in Sri Lanka in a small village. And so we had
Good.
26
Okay.
days and we really just had to work with the workers. I really got in town with all the people and it got so big that the prime minister rolled up and that was like a huge moment for me. But what the
Good.
biggest moments was the night before we had like 150 bucks. So I was like, you know what, let's go get some pencil packets and get some pencils, rulers. So I
Yeah.
set all that up. It was nothing big, but I remember leaving the event and seeing like all the kids holding the pencil pack. They haven't even opened it, and they were holding it. And to me, that was like the smallest gesture. I planned this whole big event, but it's the smallest gesture that really touched them. And so ever since then, I wanted to do more kind of international, but my sister was so focused in just the Sri Lankan and completely understandable. And then Project POH is born. So I just wanted to
Very
give back
cool. So
internationally.
it
Yeah.
started with something with your, home country, just trying to give back wherever you can. And that's
Yeah.
really amazing that your sister's also in the same kind of line of work with her own
Yeah.
organization. But the fact that
Yeah.
you decided you wanted to do this as well after getting involved, that's amazing. I think more people need to get involved. And that's part of the reason I want you on here talking about what you do. So you
Okay.
mentioned
Cool.
that you wanted it to be global, not just Sri Lanka. So how did you
Right.
decide from California to Sri Lanka to wherever next? How did you decide how you were going to go about doing that? Because college kid, I mean, most people are just happy to go out on a Friday night and enjoy
Yeah.
drinking and smoking and joking and stuff.
Right. 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 At that point, what ended up happening was I was pretty big on cryptocurrency, so I had kind of really come out with Bitcoin for a little bit, and so I
Okay.
utilized the funds to kind of go around and travel. So I was fortunate enough to go to like Bahamas, different places internationally, and what I did was you get to pack 2 luggages. So I packed one with my
Okay.
toys, and the rest I would go to like the 99-cent store over here and just fill it
Hey.
with toys and just like do a bunch
Right.
of stuff. And my thing was, I'm gonna meet a taxi driver, someone who really knows the place.
Right.
There's a gentleman named Sal in Haiti. I'm still trying to work with him, but he took me around the Bahamas, and he took me to his village over there, and just introduced me to the kids, gave them all these toys. So then that's how I kind of like picked it out. I came back home and I wanted to ship packages, but it started getting really expensive. I was like, oh,
Right.
all
Of
this
course.
money just to
Yeah.
ship it, you know, and then you have customs, so it might not even get through because of one small item. So then I started to like, you know what, let me just focus on, you know, events locally, and that was kind of my impact, and kind of just moved from
But that's
there.
amazing though, because look, the
Thank
vision
you.
is always going to be global, obviously, but the biggest impact, obviously, easiest impact would be in your backyard. So the fact that you collect things, you ship it all over the world, you try to give wherever you can. I've seen you talk about donating clothing, donating
Yeah,
food, all of these things. That's something all of us can do. It's very simple.
100%.
It's
Yeah,
not a big investment. We can definitely find somewhere in the neighborhood that really could use our help and give back. For me, it's
yeah,
reading to kids at schools, reaching out to different organizations that are government bodies here in Singapore, but
right.
that help
Okay.
the underprivileged just to volunteer time, because that's how you know who the market is, who the audience is, what
Yeah,
they actually need. Otherwise, you're just kind of like guessing, right? So you got
yeah.
involved in your own community. What
Uh-huh.
kinds of things have you found that are very, very helpful that you could teach some of us about how we can give back?
It's kind of like that whole concept, don't judge a book by its cover. One thing I learned over
Yeah.
experience is we wanted to help homelessness, right? So I started doing like peanut butter jelly drives, hygiene
I
packets,
saw
all this
that.
stuff. Yeah, it's great, good feeling, but then it got me thinking like, I'm really making them more comfortable in their situation. I'm not really helping them
Right,
get out, right? So
right,
then I'm
right.
like, okay, there's 2 ways to this. There's people who just become homeless through financial struggle, loss of people, no, no support system, and there's people who are really just mentally ill. So those people need good brain scans. They actually need to go to psychiatrists, doctors, and really just figure out what the chemical imbalances are in their brains, right? And then we have the people who actually dropped off. So I was like, okay, maybe I could focus on the people who financially fell off and didn't have the support system. So I talked
Right.
to one of my good friends, Ron the Summit, Smooth Black, shout out to him. So we always conversate on these ideas. And so one thing we wanted to talk about was hitting the foster youth, because the
Okay,
foster
yeah,
youth don't have that support system. And a lot of the homeless people are really, I wouldn't say majority of them, but some of them are kids who just didn't have that support system, maybe failed a class and didn't have a home to go to. Because once you're 18,
right.
you're really out of the system. You're on your own.
You're
So
on
that
your
was
own,
something,
yeah.
yeah. So that was something I was like, all right, let me focus on this. Let's try to kind of get to the core. And I'm doing more events like this to try to, through experience, you kind of actually really learn the system. You know what I mean? So
Right.
over time, hopefully, we can find some kind of answer, at least help some people, change some lives.
Exactly. And part of the reason I want you on here, and I'm so grateful that you have the time, it took us a little bit to coordinate the times, but I'm so grateful
I
you're
know.
here now, is because
Shout out to
people could
Singapore.
talk. Like, thank you so much. Shout out to California.
Thank you.
So a lot of us we have ideas, we have aspirations, and when we sit
Yeah.
over a beer and talk about stuff, oh yeah, I want to do this one day, but you're actually doing the work. I know that there is a gap between having a dream and asking for where you can fit that dream into
Hmm.
society, and then
Yeah.
actually getting out there and doing the work and finding your way instead. I know a lot of people will ask other people what they can do and how they can help, but the amount of no's that they get, they kind of get discouraged and don't go out and actually just try. You kind of did it backwards, I feel like, and that's actually the right way. You just went out into the community and did what you could, and from
Yeah.
there you realized where the gaps were. So is
Yeah.
that something that was taught to you? Is that something you discovered on your own? You watched somebody doing? Like, how did you discover that path?
It was just literally through experience. I had no idea. I haven't studied like the systems or anything. It's just really applying
Yeah.
myself and just kind of, I guess maybe I have an eye to see problems. And usually I'm the type of person, if I see a problem, give me some time, I can come up with some type of solution. So I was able to apply that mindset into that, and that really kind of helped me. Okay, I see what's happening here. Let's try to apply this here. So that was kind of really helpful in my way of thinking. Kind of self-taught. And I really say anyone that's going for it, just the difference between a dream and actually becoming reality is you taking that first step. You know what I mean? Just take that
Right.
one step every day, and you'll be closer to your goal. Uh, Whether that means just reading an article about the subject you want to know about, or whether that's talking to someone about it. that's one step that you're getting toward. And if you really look at it, it compounds to a bigger picture. You know, it's a marathon in a
Absolutely.
sense. Yeah.
So I mean that's part of the reason. So we having a live event, just a quick interview, very very general conversation
Mhm.
to bring about the awareness that there's so many things you could do instead of thinking about it and talking theory and the problems over there. If you actually focus on what's around you, you see there's so many other things that you could do. So I really love that you're a go-getter. You've kind of like taught yourself. You've gotten out there just doing the actions, and you've figured out what else that you can contribute to society. Now, for those of us that are stationed all over the world, how can we help you?
How can you help me? To be honest, this is what I'm going to be real straightforward. You can never
Sure.
ask someone for help, right? Because if you ask someone
Yeah.
for help, you're really limited to how much help they're willing to give you, right? What I
Right.
want is just people to come to me and tell me what's happening over here, and I think I could do something for it. And if you
Okay.
could just come to me and tell me that, I could actually maybe provide the resources, because what I initially started with POH is giving back, but I realized that I have a great opportunity of connecting organizations and people together. It's just kind of like making that great duo or the great combination that could really push a project forward.
Yeah.
Um, so that's something I hope I could do. So if anyone has any problems or anything that's happening around the world that they could help within their community, reach out
Hmm.
to me. We could brainstorm. We could do one of these and try to figure out what we can do. And I could do my side of research and providing you with resources. And we could really make this project complete or really, help the world.
Absolutely. And I like that idea so much because if nothing else, you know somebody that knows somebody. You know somebody that has a company that's
Six
doing
degree.
something along that lines that could, yeah, absolutely, 6 degrees of separation. So I like the idea so much. I really am proud that you're giving back. And it's not like you've it's not like you've turned your back on the things that you're seeing. You just mentioned it yourself. When you notice something that's out of place, it doesn't look like it's really working very well, that people are hurting because of, you try really hard to pay attention and see where you can make it better. I really love the idea that you were originally giving uh, uh, packets to the homeless to actually help them, enjoy their lives a little bit more. But then you realize it was perpetuating the cycle rather than fixing the problem. And the fact that you think that way is so unique because not everyone understands what they're doing when they go to help.
Not
If people
discouraging help,
are
because I think
on the side of the road,
let
go
me be
ahead.
clear, like I completely support that, but that was kind of something that I personally wanted to see. I support people going on Sundays and feeding them. I think they should continue doing that because at the end of the day, it's how you feel. That human interaction does change. But for me
Right.
personally, I wanted to go deeper. I wanted to go to the deep end in a sense and kind of figure it out more.
And yeah, absolutely. I'm not knocking any of that. Please go
Yeah,
volunteer your
yeah,
services wherever you can. But
100%.
even then, if you know that this is not the way the majority should be living, if you know there's a better way, that there's somewhere that there is a gap, that the system is failing people, it would be even more of an impact if you can go into that space and see where you can actually help out to really help educate kids. You work with foster kids. You were talking about foster boys. I think there was a post about 20 foster
Yeah,
kids that you were helping.
yeah.
The fact that you would take the time
Great
to
event.
spend with them to show them
Mhm.
that they matter, that they can make a difference themselves. If you teach them a little bit more, they can
Yeah,
go out into the world and be better citizens and help their community as well. There's like more of a reach that way. I love that idea. I want that
thank
to
you.
spread a little bit further. So, anything that you might be able to tell us as far as your entrepreneurial journey, because this is your business, right? This is your
Yeah, yeah,
livelihood.
yeah. This is something that I wanted. I would volunteer on my own, and then kind of I saw my own vision. And when you do that, you kind of get to like plan what you want to see. And so I hope people kind of, if they have something different than what I see or want to do a different cause, I inspire you to go do that, please, because
Yeah.
I'm all about friendly competition. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I'm not worried about someone competing with me because that will push me to be like, all right, how can I think? And that's how the world really adapts. As far as my entrepreneur journey, um, it it really kind of peaked, and I looked at a lot of your posts, and it's really inspiring to see that. And I think I lost my mom to a drunk driver when I was
I'm
20.
sorry.
Yeah, and she was actually killed right in front of my house. It was like they were literally about to be home, and there was a situation where I was like, okay, either I could sit here and dwell, or I could just kind of keep moving. And I had this idea: the world kind of keeps spinning. Everyone kind of goes throughout their day and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I decided to choose the route of just like no pain, that I feel I'll ever feel like this. So I do Ironmans. I like to compete. I like to
I
like
see
push
that.
myself. Yeah, you know. So this is where this mindset built, where I want to just create knowledge. I wanted to give back to people.
Hmm.
My sister later told me, you know, we had this common trait. She's like Aruni, founder of SLIO. She's the one that told me, you know, why do people help? And I'm like, I don't know, like why? And she's like, well, because at one point in their life, they needed
Yep.
help and they didn't have it.
Hmm.
So you try to be
Yep.
that person that you never had, and
Yeah.
that really hit me. And so that's something that now I kind of like push. That's been my motive of just kind of
And
being
I'm
that person
so
that I
glad you
was going to
said
be.
that because a lot of the
Yeah,
people that I interviewed, that's exactly what they went through. They went through some kind of trauma, some kind of dark period where they kept reaching out and there was no one to reach back, or they had to dig themselves out somehow. They had to reach rock bottom, everything stopped spinning for a moment, and then you kind of had to like figure it out. And as ugly as that process is, it does build a different kind of a human. It
yeah,
reminds us that all of us are connected. Like all of these posts I keep seeing about, you have this particular mental health disorder and that particular mental health disorder. All of it comes from some kind of pain you experienced and
yeah,
you
yeah.
kept dwelling on it. And so it perpetuated that thought pattern. So I, on my end, am trying to help people understand that all of these things can be healed if you're willing to go touch that pain
Oh yeah,
again and figure out what happened. Where did it start, spinning out of
100%.
cycle? Um, for you, it's like you know what loss is like
Yeah,
from what I imagine from what you've told me.
yeah,
So you want to make sure that the people who need the support have the support because you know what it's like to kind of like be lost for a while and how difficult
yeah,
that can be and how quickly things can go from one extreme to the other. There are a lot of us, that have been through difficult periods where we didn't find a way for a long time. There are a lot of people who unfortunately lost their lives during that process because they couldn't handle it. And I would rather people bug me because they're feeling some kind of way rather than come attend someone's funeral at the
yeah,
end. Like
yeah.
I don't want to know that you were struggling at the end when somebody finally decides to open up about what was going on with you really. So
Exactly.
absolutely, we all help in our own ways. And the fact that you talked about competition, I'd rather have that kind of competition. That means
Oh
that
yeah,
you're
I love it.
helping your area and I'm helping my area, and together we will cross boundaries and we'll make sure that all of us catch
Oh yeah.
everyone that's in the system. So
100%.
absolutely.
I believe in vibrations, and I think that you know everywhere, everybody has a certain type of vibration, and you feel it. You know what I mean? So that 100%. And touching on what you said, I think that honestly, the strongest steel has to go through the hottest fire. So you really have to go face these
Absolutely.
things.
Iron sharpens
Uh,
iron. Yep.
yeah, yeah. So you really got to really just face those things head on to change. And the moment you do that, you know, you, and another thing, people see their cup as half full or half empty. And then one thing I heard is that you really just got to see that you have a cup with something in it and just work with that. And if you don't like it, pour it out and then start with an empty cup and fill it up again. You know what I mean? So
And
stop
that's
kind of
something I
surrounding.
believe too. So yes, the cup half empty, half full, you know what? It's refillable. So you got to figure out what it is that refills you at the end of the day so you can get more of it so you can give back as much as possible. So yes, absolutely.
So
Um,
dope.
if you could teach people, if you could teach millennials right now, what is one skill you think is totally essential to their well-being? Because a lot of millennials are entrepreneurs. They're trying to find a different way outside of corporate America. What would you teach them if you could?
Oh, life is all about a skills trade. You got to find a skill, whatever it is,
Hmm.
whether it's sales or if it's making something or if it's playing music, you find a skill and you stick to it because at the end of the day, it creates value. I think a lot of people in our millennial, they chase money. And when you chase money, you go bouncing to different places and you really get into this place of like, you don't know, you're complaining, you're like, I don't know what to do. But I think
Yeah.
at this point, if you just find a skill, whatever you love, a passion, yeah, you're not going to make money now, do it at the side, but at the same time, just build through in 10 years, you can make a business out of it because you'll be the only person doing that. And so just continue on a
Exactly.
skill.
Take pride. Oh my gosh, yes. Please take
Yeah,
pride in what you're doing. Geniuses. Mozart was not. He wasn't born Mozart. I mean, his name was Mozart, but he wasn't born with that, reputation or whatever. He had years and years of practice and years of
yeah.
music. So
And they'd even trip him out.
everybody's got to take time.
His parents would
Go
even
ahead.
trip out thinking that he would practice too much. They had to take him away from the piano. And I was just, when I hear that, I was like, wow, that's all it is, just practice and focus on the skill. It's repetition. right?
Absolutely.
Repetition
Repetition
creates
and take
habits.
pride in what you're doing. I wish that more people would understand this concept of just finding what you love and then going for it. Obviously, yeah, money is how we survive day-to-day life or whatever, but it's not the end goal because money comes and goes. I know you know that. I know
Yeah,
that. I've lived through situations where I had tons of money and then none of it. So I
yep.
definitely understand that money comes and goes, but at the end of the day, I got to feel like I'm satisfied. I got to feel like I did something worth doing that day. And that's something I did not find in corporate America. So my next question to you was, did you or do you work a job as well, or how did you manage that? I mean, this idea was born in college. Did you decide to join a corporate America at some point, or did you go straight into this
I,
project?
I was working in a lot of corporate America banks. I'm not going to say the names, but it was in banking, and then I got
No,
out
no,
of
that's fine.
that just because it was it was just such a, you just see different sides to it, you know. So it wasn't for me.
Yeah,
And then I currently work at a hospital, and I really like the environment because you get exposed to a lot of situations. And I've been in very special moments that someone has lost someone, or they're in a situation of just a few months of life that I'm really about to share like a moment with them, you know, that they don't usually really have with other people. So it kind of puts me in their
right.
minds. You know, I get to talk to them and just kind of see a deeper view of just like what their perspective is.
And
So
that
so far
probably
I'm feeling good.
reinforces your whole project concept because
Mhm.
a hospital is where, regardless of your station in life, at some point you're
Yeah,
going to end up in the hospital and you have to deal with the doctors and their bedside manner. Everyone gets treated the same way for the most part. Like doctors are overworked, nurses are overworked, and you kind of get collected in the same place at some point in your life. And for
yeah,
you to work in that environment, I feel like would really reinforce it. Wherever you can help, you should help. You shouldn't take a backseat or you shouldn't speak up because, it's not your fight. It's all of our
yeah,
fight. If you don't speak
yeah,
up, the next person probably won't speak up either.
yeah. 100%. I believe in that. You got to speak up. Closed mouths don't get fed.
No, they don't. And you know what? If you keep it to yourself, nobody can help you either. So unless you speak up, unless you tell us what's going on, I can't help you. It was something that I learned in corporate America as well, actually. Um, a lot of the employees that would come to me as a team leader, they would have troubles that they would not tell the managers. Managers, they judge you based on your behavior, basically. Hey, Cuervo
Yeah,
Bar. And if you don't tell them that you got something going on, they don't have any kind of compassion for you. They can't actually step in and adjust, accommodate you. So if you don't open your mouth, if you don't say what's going on, we don't know where to help. We don't know what's going on. We assume everything's fine and you're just making excuses. So
exactly.
please
Yeah.
speak up.
Please, yeah. And I know with a lot of social media nowadays, they just kind of get to their phone. You go into like a waiting room or anywhere else, just like put your phone down and look around. You'll just see everyone. At least 90% of the room is on the phone. And when that used to be a situation where you could actually just talk with someone, have a conversation, ask them about their day. And mental health is huge. I'm glad a lot of people and a lot of
Absolutely.
advocates are coming out about mental health because um, I think people are also going down routes of just prescription pills and doing all these kinds of things. And I think it's just like little things, just kind of exposing yourself, going out, being a little bit more active. I mean, I know it's not as simple as that. There's a lot of deeper roots into it, but
But
um,
it's a start. It's a
it's
start.
a start.
Absolutely,
It's a
it's a
start.
start.
It starts with a positive mindset. I think you think about everything around you in this whole world has been created from a thought and then into something, right? And
Yep.
what you think, what you see, all your actions, emotions comes from the brain. So if you really think about it, it's just like the brain really has so much power and potential. So you just got to really think about it and just kind of expose it and put yourself out there in really happy situations, have positive thoughts, watch comedies, watch stand-up comedians. And I think naturally you kind of get those senses.
Absolutely. And I feel like, honestly, you're a David Goggins fan. Mind over matter is not some like
Yes.
catchphrase. It's for real. So
Yeah.
the fact that we speak up, the fact that you're doing what you can, you realize that, you're not the only person who's experienced loss. And if you are not the only one who's experienced loss, it's something you can do to help because you understand it from a different level than other people do. So for
Yeah.
those of us who are out there wanting to help, looking for some way that we can, give back, reach out to people, just do what you know. If
Yeah.
you've been in a situation where you wish somebody would have reached out, if you've been, for me personally, I was suicidal at one point. If I wished people would have smiled at me or made eye contact, simple, it doesn't cost anything. Make eye contact, smile. You never know what that means to somebody who
Yeah.
feels like they're invisible, no one cares anyway. It changes things. It changes things a lot. So I applaud
Yeah.
all of your efforts. I really appreciate the
Thank you.
fact that you're doing all
Thank you so
this work.
much.
whereabouts in California are you located? Just out of curiosity.
I'm in Northridge currently, San Fernando Valley. So
Okay.
that's where I stay at. So within like Los
Because
Angeles.
as we're talking, I'm thinking, okay, who do I know out in California that might be able to help with this project? So that's
Oh
the way
yeah,
I think. I'm
no,
a network
I got a
person.
few
I
things
like
coming up.
connecting people.
Yes, please. Yeah, I have an event coming up with Ruanga Summit Smooth Black on 11/11. We always do something on 11/11.
Okay.
And then we got another event coming up. I have something planned with Guardians of Love, the foster care with Trunk or Treat. And then we have some sororities, fraternities from CISA working together. So it's all about it. And then one thing I want to add, is
Absolutely.
just like
Absolutely.
with life, people need to realize it's a battle. It's a battle. Like even the planet Earth has been battling the sun. It creates the magnetic fields, right, to stay alive. And then, you go into the wild, you have a lion, and like even our mental state, it's a battle. And you got to walk away
Hmm.
with your day thinking that you won in a positive note. If you end up going on at the end of your
Yep.
day and thinking that it's like in a negative note, it just adds on to that. It compounds. So it's a battle, and you always got to win that battle. Come on top. It's not easy. People will look like it's easy, but inside everyone's head is their own little war that's going on, and you just got to make sure you come up on
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you're not alone.
I'm
You're
really
not
glad you
alone.
said that. No one can tell what's going on in your head, and honestly, there's more of us dealing with that stuff than you would think. So you're not by yourself. You're
Celebrities, yeah,
never
a
by
lot of
yourself.
celebrities who have money,
Yeah.
they have everything and they're gone. It comes
I
down to
mean,
that.
right now, you mentioned comedians. Kevin Hart is in a bad way right now, and I feel really
Yeah.
badly for him and his family. But he couldn't have planned that. He didn't know that was going to happen. But now we get to watch him come back from that because I know he's a fighter. He's not going to take that
Oh
laying
yeah,
down.
yeah.
So he's going to find a way
It's gonna
back,
be
and that's going to be
miraculous.
amazing.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be a story. I'm gonna be really glad I get to witness that right now.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I'm all about
So
stories
just
like
like
that.
there's all of us who are suffering side by side, there are a lot of us who are trying to lift each other up as well. I'm really proud to get to know you, Chatura. You're doing
Thank
amazing
you
work.
so
Please keep
much.
going. If there's any way that I can help, if there's any way we can connect
Yes,
people, please let me know because
let's do it.
there are so many Sri Lankans around the world. I'm an inclusion fanatic. I don't want to separate each other. I don't want to put each other into groups. But for those of us who are Sri Lankan, who have been all over the world, lived everywhere, there's
We're a
nothing
small
we can't
island.
do if we just reach out. Yep.
We're just a small group of people. If anything, we can say we're like the small little teardrop of the world, right? So
Yep.
we do what we can. And since we have small amounts, it seems like everyone has to be valuable. They have to put in their work. So far, I've
Absolutely.
been meeting a lot of talented Sri Lanka, and that goes for other small countries and other countries around the world. You start meeting individuals, and you're like, okay, this whole
And
social
everyone's
network
trying.
over the thing.
Everyone's doing
Yeah,
something. Absolutely. So whether
100%. I
it's
love it.
spreading a message through music, whether it's taking pride in the fact that you play mridangam or, play the flute or whatever, there's a lot of really talented artists out there that
Oh, yep.
because they want to share their music, we get to witness them coming up from whatever their origins were. And it's just inspiration for all of us. We can do something. One person can make a difference. So if this started
Yes.
in the college dorm room for you, imagine what somebody with a little bit more of a means and a little bit more reach could do. Like everyone
Yeah.
plays their part. All of us are one living, breathing organism.
Yeah.
We're trying to heal ourselves
100%.
right now, I feel like.
Yeah. And I mean, my impact is not trying to help, not trying to change everyone's world, but if I could change those few individuals who later on, if I, get older and pass on, then I could say, you know what, I left the world in good hands. And we have this good vibration passing on, just,
Absolutely.
you know, passing on
And
good
whether you
vibes.
realize it or not, people do think back when they're doing really well and they witness other people struggling. They remember, hey, if that person hadn't reached out and helped me, I wouldn't be here to do the same for the next person. I've seen so many stories like that, and I really
Yeah.
appreciate when people accept help. First of all, a lot of people are very proud, don't want to accept help, but when they accept help and realize the impact of something small, then they pay it forward. So please, by all means, reach out, pay it forward.
100%.
We can change. We can change, absolutely change.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. It's a motion, and everyone got to get on this motion. So hopefully whoever's
Yep.
watching it really gets motivated and kind of pursue what they have to do, pursue their happiness.
So for those of you who are following along, please follow Project POH. It's project_POH. It's
100%.
projectpoh.com online, correct? Is there anywhere, are you
Yes.
more
Yeah.
active on Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram. Yeah. If you want to contact me about anything, just hit me up on Instagram. And then I have a few other people on working on the page, so we all communicate on Fridays and we talk about who's talking what. So please, one of us is gonna get to it. If not, you can follow
Okay.
me at Chad D, my personal Instagram. Go ahead and DM me, and we get started there. Any way to get the ball rolling, I'm all for it.
Absolutely. So just so you know, I'm going to go ahead and pull this off of Instagram. I will post it on Facebook. I think I have you as a friend on Facebook. I'll tag you, and then I'll put it on YouTube as well, so people can start checking you out and seeing that they're, they don't have to be scared of starting something new because you're already doing something like this. That's basically the gist of all this, to have people on here that are movers and shakers, not sitting on the sidelines watching things happen. Let's get up and do something about it.
Yep. It's emotion. The youth is our future. We got to keep, cultivating our youth, giving them what they need, water the seeds.
Absolutely.
100%.
We'll teach them to fish.
Thank you so much for your time.
So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.